a great big happy Thursday evening. All you fine folks out there in Facebook and YouTube land, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Thursday night, February the 23rd, 2023, and you are watching Charlie Platt and the Dirt Road Sports Show live and in color. And we want to welcome you to our broadcast tonight. Say thank you for inviting us into your home, your boat, your motorcycle, your airplane, or wherever you may be tonight. We welcome you to our show. If you're watching us on Facebook, if you don't mind, please hit the like button and hit the share button on your Facebook page so that you share our broadcast on your home page. Let everybody know that you're a fan of Charlie Platt and the Dirt Road Sports Show. And we're going to have a great show tonight. Glad you're joining us and hope you'll just sit back and relax and enjoy the next hour. And next hour filled with fun, laughter, seriousness, pontificating, and other shenanigans, if you will. But we're coming to you live tonight from our studio at Enterprise, Georgia, our studio in Thompsontown, Georgia, our studio at 100% Flamingo Boulevard, Georgia, and our studio at turn number 3 at the old Rocket Speedway in Dothan, Alabama. Live all across the great United States of America in countries where it's legal and illegal for us to broadcast. All 57 states, 5 foreign countries, 4 sunken islands, and even broadcasting live in the great state of Baker County, Georgia. And ladies and gentlemen, if you happen to miss us tonight and would like to catch us on a syndicated rerun next week, will be Tuesday night at 9 o'clock, immediately following the revitalization of the nighttime soap opera Knots Landing. And ladies and gentlemen, for the very first time, we are live and in color. 112.2 inches. Live and in color. We're live tonight at Percy's. Percy's Industrial Bikini Waxes.
Say what? What?
Industrial Bikini Waxes. That's for those that it takes more than a little bit of tar. I got to have industrial strength.
That nair hair won't do them no good, right?
No.
If you use nair hair, Percy can do you no good. This is for industrialized bikini waxes. So
I hope he don't specialize in nothing else. I mean, that's
oh no, that's just one of his entrepreneurial.
Oh,
It's Percy's Industrial Bikini Waxes, corn dogs and coon dogs. Rent to own dentures and gently used undergarments. And recycled corn cobs and Sears Roebuck catalogs in Paint Rock, Alabama.
woo!
man. Percy on it, man.
Did he have him corn cobs? Did he have him corn cobs in white and red?
I would think so. Yeah. Percy's Industrial Bikini Waxes, coon dogs and corn dogs, rent to own dentures and gently used undergarments, recycle corn cobs and Sears and Roebuck catalogs in Paint Rock, Alabama.
Question on those recycled corn cobs.
Yeah.
Are they sterilized, or they use the stuff we use to clean our hands with? Is it for real?
You remember when about 2 weeks ago when he told you the story of his Uncle WH? That's the ones that was recycled from Uncle WH.
Yeah.
I got a real corn cob true story for y'all a little bit later on.
Good.
Right. It's a fact. It comes from an elderly statesman that was informing me one day up back when we was at Cotton Hall up there doing swamp gravy. And anyway, I'll if you will, you might want to think about it and say that we want Florida to go there.
Yeah, we want to go there.
But it's a good one. It is a natural.
Well, all right. So you ready to do it now?
Well, I don't know. Y'all go ahead and get y'all deal done. Y'all go ahead and talk, get that out of the way, and then we'll hit them with the corn cob stuff.
All right, don't forget Percy's though. If you're over in the Paint Rock, Alabama area, be sure to
Whoop.
give him one. Hey guys, we want to give a big shout out tonight to one of our top fans, Mr. Wyatt Spooner. He will be 5 years old tomorrow. Mr.
All
Wyatt,
right, Wyatt.
faithful
Happy birthday.
fan.
Yes,
Watches
sir.
every Thursday night. He's there. He's one of our most loyal fans, and he will be 5 years old tomorrow. So we give a big shout out. Happy birthday to Mr.
Happy
Wyatt
birthday,
Spooner.
Wyatt.
5 years old. What's wrong?
Ain't nothing wrong.
Yeah.
I'm talking.
I was
Hey,
waiting, trying to
by the
have-
way, by the way, we're on that 112.5. Is that right?
That's
Up
it,
at
yeah.
Paint Rock. Want to welcome in 65 inches from one of the original Henry County fish mutilators, my buddy Coach Al Griffin, watching tonight.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Welcome.
yes, sir. And by the way, since I got the floor here for a minute, I want to congratulate Queasel. Let me talk about Floyd a minute first. My bestest friends here tonight. I listened to Floyd do some fancy auctioneering Saturday evening late, and the later it got in the afternoon at that auction where he was performing, I was watching worldwide on the internet. The thing I like about my buddy Floyd is nothing but the truth. Always nothing but the truth. And there was a gentleman at this sale that decided he wanted to buy a 2012 Cadillac, if you will. And he think the bid was $600 on the Cadillac, something like that. Floyd sold it to him. Legal as legal could be. And at that particular time, couldn't see everything going on, but I could see a little bit. It looked like after the man bought it, he wanted to inspect it and make sure everything was straight like it was from the factory on that thing. Now, what do you think Floyd did, boys?
I'll tell you what he
Police.
done.
He said, I ain't putting up with this. I ain't got time for this. Do you want to buy it or not? And the fella kept looking under the hood and everything. Floyd said, back up, better $500. You bought it.
Let's go.
That's what. Next, that's what I like about Floyd. I also want to congratulate my buddy Queasel, because obviously, Floyd, he has put together something that you and I do not know about, but I have figured out. After listening to Marvin's sermon Sunday morning, he was telling big fish stories. So I feel like the fishing preacher is about to reappear, or the two of them are fixing to join forces in some kind of way. Because Marvin was preaching on big fish, whales caught by Jonah, or was it Jonah that got caught by the whale? Anyway, I just figure that this is all coming together. They haven't consulted with you and I, but I'm all for it if they're for it.
Amen. It's gonna be a crescendo.
Crescendo, that's it. That's it.
Crescendo. That's the way Marvin is with his sermons. He starts out down here, and then he works his way up, and he meanders around, and he rambles around, and he reaches the crescendo, and then he starts letting air out. You know.
He's like a pilot. He's like a pilot at 10,000 feet that need to land that airplane in 2 miles. And if you know anything about aviation, if you're 2 miles away from the airport, you need to be a little lower than 10,000 feet to get that thing down safely. But he crashes sometime, but most of the time he does pretty doggone good.
He'll make it happen. He'll let that air. He hit that valve up there. That air started easing out, man. Easing on down. And then folks said there's a calm will fall across them out there at Flat Creek. That's
right.
He done worked them up, and he done looked out there, and he seen the faces all red with their blood pressure up and everything. And then he started letting that air out, and they easing on down. They just like that right there.
Just like blood pressure medication, if you will. Yeah.
He got him.
I know. I've heard him, man. I don't go out there to Flat Creek like I ought to. I go sometime. I don't go like I ought to. on account of that, because he gets me worked up so much on it. I'm scared of might have a rhythmic
but
attack.
he gets you worked up because you probably don't bring enough tide with you. If you bring a little more tide, he'll let you down easy too. See, that's what he does. He lets them down easy there at the end, so they'll come back next week and bring a little more with them. See, I know what
But
he
the
do.
thing, whoa, but I got to take up for Marvin. No, don't go no commercial. We ain't
Don't
doing
go there.
that.
Don't do
No,
it.
we ain't putting up with that mess.
Don't do
Uh,
it, Curtis yet.
he has proven to me that he's a good man of God, because he don't pass the plate around. And if you want to give, and you should, it's written in the Bible that we do, that we tithe. There's a box out front, and you put your money in it. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. But
I like that.
if you
I like
don't,
that.
you might get in trouble.
And I like that. I
I
like
do
that.
too.
Don't then old folks
Yeah.
ain't watching you. You know, I used to when I was an usher there at the church, at the Methodist church. I was an usher, and I catch myself watching. You know, some of them they when they pass the plate around, and they had a hand like that, and then they lay the hand down on that plate, and they do like that, and they ease that plate, you know, on that way. But most of them, they peel it off, man. They have that check, put it in there, put it in there.
Mm-hmm.
It,
Yeah.
it don't matter how you give. It don't matter how much you give. It's all if you give with your heart. That's where it
Mhm.
all is. That's where everything is about your whole being. Is what's in your heart.
That's right.
Toward the end of the show, I want Marvin to comment on this. I want us to get to the story. I got to hear the corn cob story as soon as Queasel says a few things, but I do want to comment on this. I didn't know if Marvin knows it or not. They talked about the revival going on in Kentucky. Well, guess what? Guess what's happening here in Alabama, Marvin?
What?
Sanford University
Hmm.
Chapel. Been going on about 4 days now.
Come on.
Wow.
Now
Mhm.
you
See?
don't see that. You don't see none of this on this national news and
Nope.
local news leader BS that they have around here. And I'm gonna get off the soapbox, but Channel 4 is owned by Gray Communications, which owns Albany, Tallahassee, Panama City. They own Station Montgomery and everything. And I don't know who the news director is now. I used to know him. He's not there anymore. But whoever news director is, most conservatives in this market, I think I can speak for. And for 2 mornings in a row, their little news babe down there that just is so happy about everything interviews this goober they've got over in Poland or wherever Dummy Joe is.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Now, do we care about what Joe is doing in Poland? No. Put something on we can sink our teeth into. It has gotten so out of, and they just think they're so great because we're talking live to a foreign country and we're checking in on our president.
Mhm. They better check on it.
Does that interest any of the three of y'all knowing
I
what
know.
he's doing over there?
No,
I know
I'd
it.
like to see him wake him up.
Well, I said things he can do. You can't
Hey,
wake him up. But that's my soapbox. And I saw it 2 days in a row, and I thought, and I didn't watch him this morning. I'm not going to watch him again because if it isn't something like that, they're laughing at each other's silly jokes.
See it.
Can't relate to us old folks anymore.
Mhm.
Queasel,
Weasel,
are
what's
you actually putting that deal together with the fishing preacher and Marvin?
No, I'm gonna tell you about a little deal. I'm not getting in that little. I don't know if a corporation would be what you would want to call it. I don't know exactly what kind of scheme them two got, but they keep something cooked up all the time. And when you take him and the fishing reverend, they keep something cooked up, but they always seem to come out on top. And I hadn't figured out exactly how they do it, but here's what I've heard. I've heard that
Uh-oh.
you can go to the Free Will Church one day and hear that sermon, and next week you could go to the out there to the creek and hear the same sermon, and then whatever sermon you hear at the creek that week before you come over to the Free Wheelers and we hear it. Now, that's just what I heard. I can't prove that there's any documentation about it, but I'm hearing that they use the same hairdresser. I'm understanding that they buy their clothes from the same. They have a tailor, a personal tailor that
Oh,
gets both of them what they're doing, and they have on order. They have some silk handkerchiefs so they can dab that sweat that's coming, and both of them is going to TD strut school so they can learn how to get that strut down. And when they get that down, but they can't do that. TD can do it now. That brother can preach. I love to watch TD preach. He can put it on out there. That's where they're trying to get, both of them. They trying to get there. They ain't there yet, but they're working on it. But you have to watch them because they'll sneak off, and you just go to missing one of them. You go to look at, you don't see them, and they be off somewhere. They don't eat in town. When they go eat, they go out of town. So
I saw that I saw that Sunday. I did. You're nothing but the truth, Queasel. There
nothing
you
but the
go.
truth, brother. Nothing but
Saw
the
it.
truth.
Mm-hmm.
Let me interrupt y'all. We're not going to go to a commercial, but I just had this picture sent in. It was sent in from a viewer in Davistown, Georgia. Y'all know where Davistown is. Davistown, Georgia. Mr. Roger Wayne Davis found the latest balloon that Joe Biden shot down right there. That was on Davistown Road in the Flat Creek community, just sent in to us. That was one of the latest balloons with hay strings all over it, shot down by President Joe Biden, and it is in Davistown, Georgia, Flat Creek community, right there. You can see this nowhere else, ladies and gentlemen. MSNBC, CNN, Fox, NBC, ABC, none of them will show you this, but you saw it first right here on Jolly Platt and the Dirt Road Sports Show. That is the latest balloon shot down by President Joe Biden in Davistown. Our remote reporter, Mr. Roger Wayne Davis, sent that in to us.
Mercy.
So, you're talking about old Joe. I don't. Where that little town up in Ohio that the train derailed in. Y'all been keeping up with that, and I think Mayor Pete went up there today, didn't he? He went up there with him to finally see him, but they can't get no help. And then I looking at the news tonight, and I see where we have promised Ukraine, is it 10 million or 10 billion?
100 billion.
Yeah, we can't help our own, but we're gonna send money that we ain't got, that we got to borrow from China to send over there to them. And then we got folks here in the United States that's starving every day. Inflation got it where, I mean, you have to take out a loan to go buy a dozen eggs. But we can send. Now I feel sorry for them people over. I hate they in a war, and I do. But I'm kind of like this in the fire world. In training, we train our people to look after yourself first. Is firefighter safety first, because if you don't protect yourself, you can't protect nobody else. So I'm thinking that ought to be good for the United States government. Why not protect our people first? Why not provide for our people first? Then, if we need to help somebody, you should help people. I agree. But we got those people in Ohio, they can't even drink the water.
Guess who showed up with semis passing out food, and they paid for it?
Donald Trump.
President Donald Trump.
Water, food now, and Trump paid for it.
Trump paid for it. There's no FEMA on the ground with food and water. There's semis that Donald Trump paid for, and food is being delivered to people in East Palestine.
So Marvin, you took the training. I took it today. You took the same training. So if that does not qualify, if that disaster does not qualify for federal aid and federal relief, how does what happened in Ukraine qualify? And that ain't in the United States. Explain that one to me.
It's called politics.
Yeah.
Politics. Money.
Joe got his hand in the pot.
He
Joe, the
does.
Biden family got the hand in the kitty, and anybody that says otherwise, you're asleep at the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's
Sure do.
it's just it's a shame to see, and there's a lot of people out there that can't relate to being where you don't know where your meal's coming from, your livelihood's destroyed, your home's destroyed. It ain't been that many years we went through that, but now we did get help, but because ours did qualify. But can you imagine where we would be in Colquitt now
Mm.
if it had been under a different circumstance? What would have
Yep.
been if he had been running the show? Rick, what we would have got?
Because I promise you, where we're located, he has no use for us.
Well, the feeling's mutual.
Yeah. 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 Hey, I
You
want to
know,
show y'all this. Floyd brought this. How much times have changed? How much? And you talk about that. I mean, look at how much has changed since this new president came in. Here's a picture this week right here of a NASCAR racer,
that's a real
Curtis
race driver
Turner.
right there.
Yeah.
Look at his hand. Look what's in his hand.
Got a Winston in his hand.
Already
Smoking
rolled.
a Chesterfield or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Ready to roll.
He got a ready roll in his hand. That's it.
That's right.
That was when they raced cars. That's when they
All
had
right.
cars.
I'm not a race fan. I know the three of you all are. How much has life changed, not only in America, but in the racing field since he was on the track?
No,
Ooh.
different world,
You can't
man.
call what
Different
they do
world.
now racing.
It's
I
not racing.
don't watch NASCAR. I'm gonna go April 1st to Phoenix City to East Alabama Motor Speedway where they'll pay $10,000 for some boys to get out there in cars that'll run about 120 around that track on dirt. Now that's racing. That ain't this pretty boy Floyd signed $2 million to drive for a half year, something like that. Give the boys $10,000 to win, you'll see some racing, won't you, Floyd?
You'll see it, baby.
I gotta
That's it.
I gotta watch, dude. I gotta pull for my man Chase Elliott now, because I mean, look where he is, and we know how he got there. So I gotta continue to support him.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta continue. If we pull our support from him, he liable to fall out. He liable not even be able to raise no more.
He'll quit
If,
winning.
if I was gonna pull for anybody, I'd pull for the watermelon man down here in Northwest Florida.
Well,
Yep.
see, that's because you ain't real. I mean, that's just if anybody that wins the race
Excuse
ain't got
me?
no better
Well,
chance than to bust a watermelon. If that's the best they can do, they did better over there in Alabama holding a rattlesnake around in there than to bust a watermelon. Now that is real classy to pick up a watermelon, throw it on the asphalt, and bust it.
I don't have a clue what y'all talking about.
He's
Yeah,
talking
most
about
of viewers don't either.
the fella he's talking about. If he wins, he's a watermelon farmer from down there in Florida, and if he
I
wins,
got you.
This
he
is a
gets a
long story.
watermelon.
Bobby, this is a
and
long
bust it.
story here. It's long.
But hey, let me ask you this: he ain't busted many watermelons, has he?
Oh, he's pretty good now, I have to say.
All right, Floyd, tell us about this. I know you had this night before last. You sent it to me.
Oh yeah, that was some ribs I cooked out there on the grill out there.
mm,
I put them on there and on my little $150 grill. I ain't got that one of them rabbit pellet grills and gas grill and all that kind of big stuff and all that. I'm gonna tell you what I done. Them ribs turned out good, and I'll tell you what kind of wood I used. And I stumbled up on it by mistake. Well, no, by accident. I reckon I was experimenting. We had a dogwood tree in our front yard out here that died. And I got my man Junior Peterson to come cut it down for me. And he had a chainsaw. He had a sharp chain on. He'd hit that. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I said, dang, Junior. I said, that's some hard wood. He said, that's some hard wood there. I said, cut it up for me. I said, I'm gonna burn it in my burn pit out there, in my pot out there, my burn pot, or either I make smoke me some meat with it. He said, you gonna try to barbecue with it? I said, I'm gonna try it. So anyway, I cooked me some ribs, and I got me some of that dogwood tree to smoke with. Man, yeah, that is the absolute best. It beats pecan, it beats oak, it beats mesquite, cherry, whatever you got. If you got an old dead dogwood tree or you got one that needs pruning and you like to cook outside on a regular grill, not a rabbit pellet grill, but a regular regular grill, like regular folks have cooked on for centuries. Put your little limb of that in there, but it was
Hey,
good.
Queasel, do you
Right.
realize that Floyd is talking about your rabbit pellet grill? And I agree
I
with him.
also
I'm a
I
Weber
also
man. I'm
realized
a
that
Weber man.
you and Floyd, neither one ain't spitting nothing out that come off that rabbit pellet grill neither, though.
Amen, brother.
Woo.
Here's a pretty sunset, Baker County sunset sent in by Mr. Richie Jones right there, and here's one that Charlie Platt sent in. I guess that's over that hayfield or rye field or what is that?
Yeah,
That's a grand. Yeah, pretty
That's pretty,
sunset
man.
out
Ain't
South
that
it
something?
Alabama
is.
sunset
Man, please.
right there. All right,
Boy,
Floyd. Before we go to the trivia question, you ready for the corn cob story?
yeah. I tell y'all, I love to tell stories because I listen to people. I listen to the elderly people, elderly statesmen. And we was having way back yonder, back when Cotton Hall up here, when some of y'all folks used to come to see Swamp Gravy, when we had the dirt floor. Had a dirt floor in there. It had no air conditioning and no indoor plumbing. Everybody had to go to the fire department and use the bathroom, and they just packed in there. We'd standing room on it. They'd be packed in there. People packed in there, and we had kind of my wife kind of came up with an idea. Let's have a kind of like an exhibit where you come in that old door there, where your main entrance is. You come in that door. That was like an exhibit area, and we had exhibits in there of old Southern lifestyle, old things like wash pots and syrup kettles. And we had borrowed a real genuine liquor still, whiskey still from the 50s, if you will, from the Agrorama in Tifton, Georgia. Not the Agrorama and ABAC. I think it was the Agrorama that loaned us that liquor still. And we had, and my wife, and being a creative person she was, she said it'd be great if we had somebody there at the liquor still, manning the liquor still. And then they was sitting there, they had the wood there, and they had the liquor still set up, just like it would have been in the 40s and the 50s. And she came up with two gentlemen that that Queasel and Marvin know well. She came up, she said, I'm gonna get Benny Lane and Eugene Hornsby to sit at the liquor store. I said, well, you'll have two perfect gentlemen. And when the folks would come by, they'd be sitting down there, on some old tubs or something other, and the folks would come by and they would pretend they was at the liquor store, I mean, they would pretend they were good. It could have, if we'd have filmed that thing, it'd have been a great reality show. Eugene Hornsby and Benny Lane sitting there. That's the first thing people saw when they came in the door of Cotton Hall, and we had them. Now you talk about we intrigued. They were intrigued, Charlie, when they came in there and saw those two gentlemen sitting there. So, and anyway, I sat down there with them one night before the show got started. I sat down in there with them one night. Yeah. Benny Lane. Now, Eugene wasn't with Benny when this happened. Benny was a little older, I think, than Eugene. Might have been a little bit. But Eugene wasn't with him, but Eugene knew the story. And they sat there and they had some old gallon jugs, old glass gallon jugs. That's what they used to put whiskey in. It had a finger hook in it. You could turn that thing up like that, get you a good charge of that shine whiskey out there. That's what they pour that whiskey up in, a gallon glass jug. So I'm sitting there, and Benny Lane, my nickname in school was Cream. Benny said, Cream, let me tell you about a jug of whiskey one time. I said, all right, Benny, go ahead. He said, me and somebody, he called the man's name that had a rolling store. And anybody that's from Martha's Vineyard or maybe listening from Martha's Vineyard, y'all have no clue what a rolling store is. Google it and just show you. He said, I was riding, and Benny was a younger man at that time. At the time, he said, I was just a young man riding. He said, Cream, let me tell you what happened with a corn cob and a jug of whiskey one time. I was riding with somebody on the roller store, and we pulled up, started blowing the horn before they ever get to the house. Boom, boom, but that's how the folks would come out. They knew the rolling store was coming. They had all the goods that they needed in the rolling store. They come running out in the yard. Hey, that a roller stone, that a roller stone, woo wee. But he says all the yard full out there, you know. And anyway, they come in there, they go, you want them a baby roof, you know, or something, and swap a chicken or half a dozen eggs, you know, for a baby roof. And they would 7 of them out there, and they'd split the baby roof up, you know, and all of them get them a bite off it. Anyway, the Rolling Stone man knew that the people that lived there made whiskey, made shine whiskey. And he said, yeah, he said, hey, Benny said, let's get us a jug of liquor while we're here. I mean, a jug of liquor now was a gallon. It wasn't a half pint. It was a gallon jug of shine whiskey. And Benny said, yeah, said, let's get us a jug of whiskey. I said, we'll ride that while we're peddling out this stuff on the Rolling Stone. So anyway, they acknowledged the man that said, or the lady. They acknowledged the lady that said, "Look at here," said, "We need a jug of shine." I said, "Y'all got some?" Said, "Yeah, we got some." Said, "It's back here in the back." Said, "Y'all want one jug or two?" They said, "No." I said, "We won't just give her one jug, a gallon of shine." So anyway, they went back there for a little while. They come running out with the shine, and they give them $3, $4, what a gallon of shine was. They give them some money. It didn't have no cork in the top of the jug, but it didn't have no cork in it. It was, and so anyway, the Rolling Stone man said, Benny said, we got to have a stopper in this jug. Said we turn it over, hit the brakes, turn it over, all that whiskey don't pour out. And said, y'all got to get us a plug to go in there to the top of this jug here. So it ain't got nothing in it. So if we turn it over, spill it, so we done lost all our liquor. So he said, go get us something that we. He said, let me see the jug. Let me get something that'll fit in there. So anyway, they got the jug of liquor and went back and stayed a few minutes. They come back out, and they had a corn cob stuck down there in the top of the jug of whiskey out of a corn cob stuck down in there. So anyway, Benny Dill took off. They took off down the road, and Benny said, we got to Benny something else. He said, dang, said, you is there a dead cat or something we rode by the road? Said, what the world is? So a hog pen or something. Anyway, said, no. Anyway, they went on a little while. Anyway, so Benny said he got the jug. He said, Cream, hey, I got that jug up under my arm like that. He said, I reached in there and he said, I pulled that corn cob out and I brought it across my nose. He said, I knew exactly where that corn cob was. He said, I said, you want to pour this whiskey out? Man said, blank, no. We gonna drink that whiskey. Throw the
Woo!
true story.
That shine would have sterilized it.
That shine did. He said, I got it drunk in the crowd. I know where that corn cob come from. True story.
He wasn't gonna pour that shine out, was he?
No. I get like we said, he sterilized.
Oh, man, it's time for the trivia time, brought to us by Southern Hissy Fits here on Charlie Platt and the Dirt Road Sports Show. Southern Hissy Fits, southwest corner of the square, 109 West College Street in Colquitt, Georgia. Embroidery, t-shirts, tumblers, gifts, whatever you need. You take in the design, and I promise you that they will do whatever you need, and they will do it right. They'll make it look right. They even do shipping. All you got to do is give them a call right there. The number's on your screen. Southern Hissy Fits. And the winner tonight will win a Campfire Charlie Platt and the Dirt Road Sports Show mug. Compliments of Southern Hissy Fits on the square in Colquitt. And our trivia question tonight, I need you to text your name and the correct answer. Your name and the correct answer. Here's the question for tonight. In the 1971 movie Dirty Harry, who was the first actor chosen to play Clint Eastwood's character, Harry Callahan, but had to bow out due to a hand injury? In the 1971 movie, original Dirty Harry, who was the first actor chosen to play Clint Eastwood's character, Harry Callahan, but had to bow out due to a hand injury? And we're looking for your name and the correct answer here on Trivia Time on Charlie Platt, the Dirt Road Sports Show, brought to us by Southern Hissy Fits in Colquitt, Georgia. All right, we're waiting here for answers to come across, names, and correct answer. Do y'all know the answer to it? Charlie, Queasel? Got one came in. Warren Beatty is not correct. Charles Bronson is not correct. We do not have a correct answer as of yet. Charles Bronson nor Warren Beatty is a
They
correct
just ain't Googled
answer.
it far enough back yet. They'll
Yeah,
hit the
yeah,
right button on
yeah.
that Google and hit it.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to
Yeah.
dig deep down in there to find the
Yeah.
question.
Yeah. But we're looking for the correct answer, your name, and the correct answer. Floyd, tell them a little bit while we're waiting here about Ziggy B's in Colquitt.
Oh, man, I was in there today. I saw Miss Ashley Bracewell in there today, Ziggy B at the seafood market. I always love going in there. Always first class service. You get it right from the time you walk in the door. I walked in there and I got some shrimp. I got out of the shrimp. It's Thursday night. Me and Nadine have shrimp night on Thursday night. I get me some peeled and deveined shrimp and put them in a little bit of olive oil and kind of pan saute them and cook them and cook some good rice with some peppers and onions in that rice, and then makes it good, kind of season it up. Went in there at Ziggy B's, and she's got oysters. She's got them what East Point oysters. Got them by the bag, by the bushel, by the 2 dozen. Got them by the cupfuls or the little cupful, big cupful of shrimp. She got lobster tail. She got crawfish. She got scallops, catfish galore. Some of the best catfish you ever had in your life. She's got them right there. Steaks. Y'all go in there and visit with her at Ziggy B's. There in Concord, Georgia. Make a trip over here. You'll enjoy it. You'll be glad you did. And when you go in there, tell her you heard about us. Heard about her on the Charlie Platt and the Dirt Road Sports Show. There, she'll be glad to talk to you. Talk to you about anything. She's a fine businesswoman running a good business here in Concord, Georgia.
Still do not have a correct answer. Had the answer Sean Connery sent in, but that was not correct. Still looking for a correct answer. Queasel, tell them a little bit about our partners at Phillips Auto Parts and the Holstered 9.
Hey man, it's good people down there. They got all you need, any kind of automotive part, any kind of farming part you want. If they ain't got it, you give them just a little while, and they'll have it. They got them. Let's see, what do you call them? Rabbit pellet grills that Floyd was describing. They got several different models of them rabbit pellet grills, and they got the rabbit pellets that you can put in there. They got them kinds where the rabbits has been eating cherries and apples and all that kind of stuff. They come in there and got all that different kind of flavor that goes in that rabbit pellet that gets down there, and it cooks them ribs. And it'll make you pick up a rock and throw it at a dogwood tree if you just go in there and get some of that pellet. I'm telling you, they got everything you want. But listen to me, that Holstered 9. I was just reading an article today where the governor of Texas is having to intervene in some of these troubled cities where the Democratic liberal leadership will not hold the law. And he is following the lead that the great state of Georgia's governor, Brian Kemp, did with the city of Atlanta when they would not enforce the law. He took our brave men and women in the blue and gray and sent them to Atlanta and restored peace. He put the Georgia State Patrol up there. Well, the state of Texas is going to put the Texas Rangers and the Texas Highway Patrol in these cities. It is a bad time. It is a bad world that we are in. Floyd will remind you a little later that you need to protect yourself. Go see them at the Holstered 9. They have everything you need to protect you and your family so that you can live in a world that is unsafe and you can make it safe. Good prices, good people, good products. Give them a call. Go see them. Johnny and Key, they'll be glad to see you. Spend your money locally, and they will appreciate every bit of it.
And they're working on a grill right now using pelletized used corn cobs. All right, guys, we got a winner. We've had several answers. But we had 2 that came in with the right one. But the first winner was Miss Cindy Coronado, and the correct answer is Frank Sinatra. That is the correct answer.
Wow.
Let's see who somebody. Well, yeah, somebody had sent it in. You were a little bit late there, Tammy. But Cindy Coronado is the winner of the mug here on Charlie Platt and the Dirt Road Sports Show Trivia Time, brought to us by Southern Hissy Fits. And the correct answer tonight was Frank Sinatra. Guys, Outlaws Bussin' Barbecue is coming soon to the old Kmart Shopping Center in Bainbridge, Georgia. But you don't have to wait. All you got to do is go to the Boat Basin in Bainbridge, Georgia between now and Sunday. He is set up working the Bassmasters tournament, and you can get some fresh barbecue during the day. He's open at morning, noon, and night. And you go by and see them right there at Outlaws Bussin' Barbecue. They're going to be bringing a restaurant to the old Kmart Shopping Center in Bainbridge, but they also have a mobile food truck. And if you go to their Facebook page, Outlaws Bussin' Barbecue, you can keep up with where they are. But they are this weekend, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday at the Boat Basin in Bainbridge, Georgia, at the Bassmasters tournament where all of the weigh-ins and all that occur. All you got to do is pull up there, go to the food truck. You can buy you some ribs. You can buy chip barbecue. You can buy Brunswick stew. Whatever he's got, I promise you will not be disappointed with anything that you buy from Outlaws Bussin' Barbecue. Mr. Brandon Chambliss is the proprietor, and he will be glad to hook you up. And that is this weekend at the Boat Basin in Bainbridge, Georgia. All right, guys, it's that time again for breaking news. This is stuff that's happening around us that you cannot make up, but you cannot usually hear it anywhere right here on Charlie Platt and the Dirt Road Sports Show. And how we do this is I come up with one topic each week that is in the news, and I throw it to one of these gentlemen to get them to give me a 60-second commentary on. And as always, I like to start with my good friend, Mr. Charlie Platt. All right, Mr. Charlie, as you are aware, the following products have been outlawed and or redone due to racism: Aunt Jemima, Uncle Ben's, Mrs. Butterworth, Eskimo Pie, Cream of Wheat, Land O'Lakes Butter, Miss Chiquita, the Banana Woman for the bananas, Crazy Horse Malt Liquor, Argo Cornstarch, and Calumet Baking Powder because it had an Indian silhouette on it. Now, all of these have had to redo their logo and change because of sensitivity. However, this week, Nabisco Cheez-Its have advertised, this is for real. The brand new Cheez-It box features RuPaul, who is a black man pretending to be a black woman on the box. Charlie, have at it.
Well, yeah, I was worried about that deal right there because I know what a big, big race fan that Queasel is, and I was afraid when they came on with the promos on TV about uh, RuPaul's drag race thing. I figured Queasel might join that group watching that show because he thought there was a real drag race going on. But no, this is stupid. It's the stupidest thing. In fact, there was a couple of shows I did seriously watch on one of the cable channels that advertises that idiot's actual reality show of a bunch of drag queens. I quit watching that channel because of it. And if I ate Cheez-Its, which I don't, I'd quit. And I believe it and Kellogg's involved in this, aren't they? The parent company of Nabisco.
Wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, I think either of them are Kraft one. I can't remember who
Yeah.
owns it. It's either Kraft or Nabisco.
I tell you what, we all said years ago it might come down to a point where we have to grow and consume our own food. Boys, I think we're just about there because I think that is the stupidest thing. That and the Aunt Jemima deal and the what kind of malt liquor? I might.
Crazy Horse. That's referencing
Indian.
Crazy Horse malt liquor. Yeah.
I just think that we have gone so far now that we just have to ask the good Lord for forgiveness
Yeah.
because even though no control over it, we have to consume and be a part of this society that has gone absolutely stark raving crazy.
Thank you, Charlie. All right, Floyd, for yours, I need you to. I have a little video that you will watch, and then I will ask you for some commentary on that. So, if you will, just hang tight.
When you present the suggestion that anyone is saying that it is time for a new generation, and they're running against the person who is president, and when presented as though it's an attack, I would like to let us all be clear that the attack is misplaced. If the point of it is that we need leadership that is strong, because we have a strong leader in Joe Biden.
Thank you very much, Madam Vice President.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
So, Floyd, the video was entitled Word Salad by our Vice President.
And that is the smartest, according to the Democrats, that's the smartest black woman in America who is not a black woman. But then they don't, I just add that on, that's an asterisk on that. But that's the smartest black woman in America, according to the Democrats. Let me tell y'all something. If that's the smartest black woman in America, we are in deep, deep trouble. And if I was a black woman, I would be number one, if I was a black woman, I'd be offended. Number one, that woman calls herself a black woman. Her mother is an Indian from India, and her daddy was a white Jamaican from Jamaica whose family owned slaves. So there she is, y'all. There she is on full display, who has no clue as to what she's saying. All she's doing is making noise. And that's it with her. So
that's
my opinion on that.
Thank you very much. All right, Queasel, it's to you. I always like to do little interesting ones for you. Are you familiar with the movie Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which was an updated version of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
Can't say that I am.
Thank you.
Anyway, in the movie, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, there was a guy in there, a chubby guy in there that ate a bunch of candy. Well, they've gone back now and have cut the word fat out of the script for inclusion and accessibility. What is your comment on that?
Stupid would be number one. Hey, you know what? If something in a movie offends you, don't go watch it. If something on the television offends you, change the channel. If you don't like the Dirt Road Sports, turn us off. You have choices all about life. If you don't like being around the people you're around because you feel offended or you feel like that they're not treating you right, go find you some friends. We live in a big world. You can choose whatever you want to, but don't force what you want on me and expect me to want it. I don't know nothing about this chocolate man you talking about. I ain't got no idea. But if the man's name was Fat in the first book, his name ought to be Fat now. Leave it alone. If you don't like it, don't go to the show and move on.
Well, what would we call Fat Albert? I mean, in the cartoon, what would we change his name?
He was funny. He was funny. He was a cartoon character. He was funny. He was funny.
Without him, it wouldn't even been a show.
Well, but if you take the word fat off of his name, what would you call him?
Call him Albert. Call it
Fluffy Albert.
You couldn't call him Slim Albert.
Call him overweight Albert.
Yeah, there you go.
What is it? They got some kind of name. I'm sure they got some kind of political correct name for people who are overweight. You know, and you know they talk about that. They all. And you know what the number one health issue is in
obesity
with young people now. The number one health issue with young people who are on welfare. You know what the number one health issue is? Obesity. Obesity.
You know why? Because they sit in the house, do this all day long.
There you go.
You know,
There you
do,
go.
do you
And
do you
the
remember?
grocery, they throw in honey buns in there. They throw in
Yeah.
potted meat in there, and they throw it in them potato chips, a whole big box of potato chips in the little bag. They throw them in there, and sodas. They had to make 2 trips to get the sodas from the store to the car. It's
Right.
what the just saying.
Randy King's got it figured out. He says call him pleasantly plump Albert.
That's it. That's what it.
Hey, when we was children, you got to come in the house long enough to eat, then your mama put you back in the yard.
Mhm.
And if you wasn't having to work somewhere, they put you back in the yard to play. You didn't come back in till supper time.
No,
It's,
you didn't
it's,
go in there.
it's
You didn't have your hand in
crazy.
there in the pie safe all the time, eating up all the pie and the tea cakes and the biscuit pudding and all that. No, you got to when the bus run, I'd come in the house. I'd open up that pie safe. Still got it here in my house, in my office out there. Got that pie safe, that wooden pie safe. I'd come in there. There'd be some tea cakes in there sometimes. Sometimes there'd be some peanut brittle in there. Sometimes there'd be some biscuit pudding in there. And for you people on Martha's Vineyard, you have no idea what biscuit pudding is, but it is so kind of good. Get you a piece of that. Get you a piece of that biscuit pudding. Go out there in the yard and play, and then supper will be ready after a while. You ain't eating all that junk, all that stuff, and not eat your supper. So that was the deal, and I understood that because I had parameters. They don't have no parameters now.
Now, what would happen if you'd argued with your mom about that and
That
told her you didn't like that?
that was non-existent.
You didn't argue.
That'd be like me saying now, say, Floyd, what are you gonna do when you get to the moon? What are you gonna do when you get the same? It's non-existent.
And
There was no negotiating. No negotiating.
y'all know, yeah. I don't know how many people know it. They probably not, but I'm a big Georgia fan. A lot of people don't know that. And I was so proud that we had not been invited to the White House.
Amen.
That was the biggest compliment that Georgia football could have ever had, was to not get invited to the White House. But now I see that due to political pressure, they have now invited them to the White House. And only thing I hope is they postpone it till after the starting of spring practice, because Kirby Smart won't let them celebrate no more after the beginning of spring practice. The celebration's over. It's a new year beginning then. But and I get it. If you're the champion, whoever you are, you're supposed to get invited. You're supposed to get to go to the White House. They didn't get invited last year, and so. But I was that made me feel good that we were going to have to go to the White House. But now they go. Only thing I hate is that they don't have a president that's the caliber that needs to be there to congratulate a national championship. You got a loser as a president to congratulate a winner in a sports event. Losers and winners don't go together. You know what I'm saying? They don't.
Right.
They don't go. You look at your good coaches. You look at Kirby Smart. Look at Nick Saban. Look at these coaches. They don't let losers around them. You know what I'm talking about? Losers and winners don't go together. That's kind of what I think. But now nobody asked me. I just thought I'd throw that out there.
It's that time once again. Time for Floyd Short Lists and More. Brought to you by Berry Hill Auctioneers. Berry Hill Auctioneers, our sponsor in exclusivity and perpetuity of the great, the world famous Floyd's Short Lists and More. And now, please make welcome Mr. Floyd B. Lloyd.
Thank you there, Marvin. Well, I the rings tonight, but get into our short list. I just some insight I want to just revelations, if you will, to share with y'all. I watch Fox News a lot. That's about the only news service I watch, but I do switch over on from time to time in the morning when I'm having my coffee. I switch over to Morning Joe, MSNBC, and just to see what they're doing, what they're talking about, and they have some of the most insane people alive on that show. If you want to watch lunatics and insanity, watch MSNBC. But I like to go over there and see what they're doing. I tuned in the other morning. I said, I'm going to see how long it takes for them to light into something bad about what Donald Trump has done or said. So I watched it 10 seconds. Donald Trump, most evil, wicked person on the planet, according to them. Anyway, I switched it off. I didn't watch it anymore, but check them out sometime and just see how big of a lunatic they really are. Then I got to pondering. I got to thinking. I said, you know, what the country that we're living in today. What kind of country are we living in? And I got to think. I just made me a little list. This is just a little short list of the kind of country we're living in. We're living in a country of no consequences for criminal behavior. New York City,
That's right.
they want to keep you overnight. I mean, if you rob a bank, I saw the other day, read something on the news, or read some guy had robbed like 3 banks, armed robbery in 3 days, and he was out. He served not and no bail. You don't have to put in bail up. All you got to do is say, "Yeah, I'm gonna show up." So no consequences for criminal activity. Uh, we're living in a country where you can't defend your own property. There's a guy out there in Texas that shot an armed invader on his place that he was scared was going to kill him. He shot him and killed him, or at least they said he killed him. He said, "I fired a warning shot over the head to try to get him off my property." And a day or so later, they found that dude dead out there in the field somewhere. So they arrested that man that owned that property, that was defending his property and his family from invaders. They have arrested him and have charged him with capital murder.
Oh,
Capital murder. At the same time, I was helping T.C. Berryhill do some auctions one time in the north up there. And there was a guy. He was from somewhere in Wisconsin. He had a big salvage yard. He had a grinder in there. You could put a whole semi truck in there, and he'd grind it up to shreds. And he kept missing stuff. He was a scrap yard. He bought and sold stuff. He was missing. He'd buy copper, whatever it was. He'd buy it. He was missing that. I mean, he was missing like tons of the stuff. So him and his sons were there one night. And sure enough, here come these dudes in on a truck, and they loaded the truck up with copper pipes, copper tubing, copper wire, loaded like thousands of dollars worth of copper. This is at his salvage yard that he runs. They went out there and held guns on them and called the police. Guess who they arrested when the police got there? The owners of the property. Him and his sons let the guys go that was doing the stealing. He had to go to court. He said it cost me and my sons $1 million not to go to jail because they were stealing from us. So that's
Wow.
you can't protect your own property, and it's getting worse. I just telling you what's happening out there. For some of y'all may not be aware of it, and you can't make fun of stupid people anymore. You can't make fun of stupid people. Somebody doing something stupid and irresponsible. You can't make fun of them because that's hateful speech, man. That you can't do that. A comedian can't tell a joke. Think about this. Y'all remember how funny you folks used to be, like Rodney Dangerfield and Joan Rivers and people like that? They made fun of everybody, and it wasn't nothing but the truth. It was funny. The people that they were really was making fun of, be sitting there listening to them, laughing at it. You can't do that anymore. No comedian can tell a joke about any ethnic group or religion unless they are white Christians. Then they're free game, baby. You can say anything you want to say about them. So I'm just telling you kind of what it's come to. All right, here's a short list. American families in America that are more corrupt. American families. This is the whole family of them that are more corrupt, dysfunctional, phony, ruthless, criminal, fraudulent, arrogant, and worthless as the Joe Biden family. All of them. Whole bunch. There ain't a decent one in the whole bunch, unless it's an infant that Hunter has sired somewhere.
oh,
I'm just saying.
oh.
Here's one right here. It said Democrat voters that care if their candidate is a lunatic or is he sane. They don't care. If he's got a D by his name, they're going to vote for him. Invariably, they're going to vote for him. And I can give you several good examples of that. Pentecostal preachers, Baptist preachers,
Ooh,
free will Baptist preachers that have
ooh.
ever been or will ever appear on Naked and Afraid. People on Martha's Vineyard, I hope some of y'all are listening or know somebody lives on Martha's Vineyard. People on Martha's Vineyard that are sending water, food, and support to the people in New Palestine, Ohio. How many of y'all say, oh, come on. Oh, no. Mayor Pete's there. Oh, Mayor Pete's going to take care of everything. Here was Taliban Muslims that have a sense of humor. Have y'all ever seen any of them laughing about anything? They're the most angriest people you ever seen in your life. But they are subjects. They're subjects of the religion of peace and love, if you will. Peace and love is supposed to be happy. And I said this one, I think a couple of weeks ago, but I think I need to recycle it. Need to recycle it. Sentences that Al Sharpton could complete. Sentences that he could complete without saying racist, white supremacy, or reparations.
Amen.
Tune him in and listen to him sometime. And last but not least, including his bladder and his bowels, things that Joe Biden has any control over.
Welcome. Whew. Amen. Welcome to the sunny South. The heat is on, boys. Look at that. 84, 83, 81, 82, 78, 79. Cool spell coming. Look at there. Toward the middle of next week and on down. Let me say this. Some of the models, and I've been looking at some stuff down the road, and I'm going to make this real quick. Next weekend, starting maybe next Friday or next weekend, really be paying attention to the weather around you. When you're this hot at this time of the year and a major front comes through, we're susceptible, unfortunately, Queasel knows the best, to severe weather coming in here. So be particular when it comes to watching our weather over the next week. Thank y'all for watching. We appreciate every one of you. I know we're running short of time. Pray for this nation because, folks, we are in a mess. And if you don't believe it, you need to go have your head examined. We're in a mess. Queasel?
Thank you, Charlie. Hey, I agree with you. We need to pray for each other. We need to pray for this nation. We need to pray for our leaders. Even though I can't stand them, we need to pray for them. We need to pray that the Lord will give them some wisdom, give them wisdom enough to know what the right thing is, and give them the courage to do it. It's easy. It's easy to do the wrong thing, but it takes guts, and nobody has to talk you into doing the right thing. We love y'all. Thank you for letting us in. Spend a little time with you. Y'all be safe out there, and we'll see y'all next week. Floyd?
Yes, sir. Exercise your Second Amendment rights. Arm yourself. Be able to protect yourself and your family. You never know when it's going to happen. You never know when you're going to need it. Prayerfully, you'll never need it. But be prepared. Exercise your Second Amendment rights. Be aware of your surroundings. Do not go anywhere or get involved in any situation or be anywhere where you don't know what's going on around you. Be aware of your surroundings. Watch people. Watch what they do. Watch their actions. Listen to them. Be aware of them. Be cautious. Surround yourself with like-minded people. Like Queasel said, if you don't like Dirt Road Sports, go watch it. Go watch something else. Go tune in something else. Watch whatever you want to do. Go. If you don't like us, you ain't bothering us. That's not our problem. I promise you, you're not a problem to us. If you don't like us, you don't like what we say, you don't like what we think, we don't care. That's not a problem. But we're gonna surround ourselves with like-minded people. We're gonna be around people that we can trust and we believe in. And if we don't, if there's somebody there that's out of place, we're gonna tell it to somebody. Say, you need to watch that dude right there. You need to watch that cat right there, and just watch what he does and be aware of what's happening in your business. say your prayers tonight. When you lay down and go to sleep, thank the good Lord for everything you give to you today, and you will be asleep and you'll still be thanking Him. Marvin, take us out of here.
Guys, we love y'all. Appreciate you inviting us into your homes tonight. Our scripture for the night is, my salvation and my honor depend on God. He is my mighty rock, my refuge. Can I tell you tonight, your only hope is found in Jesus Christ. And
Amen.
Jesus still is in the saving business. He alone is only one that can save us. Guys, thank y'all for joining us. Lord willing, and the creek doesn't rise, we're going to be right back here right the same time next week for more Charlie Platt and the Dirt Road Sports Show. Guys, we love you, and always, always, always remember this, no matter what you do in life, always be particular.
See you.